For many of you, at least on the humanist side, this is your first Thanksgiving here in the U.S., which is a unique holiday, not only to the U.S., but a few other countries like Canada. Canada has Thanksgiving Day. And a couple other countries, only a handful. And it's really a wonderful family holiday. It's a day to gather as family, friends, to be grateful, to celebrate together. And it kind of begs the question, right? Well, when did this start? How come only a few countries have this? Why does it, what is Thanksgiving Day? I mean, it's kind of obvious, right? In the name. But why? I've recently read a couple books, actually from the Revolutionary time period and post-Revolutionary time period. One is a history book called Pioneers by David McCullough. It's the founding of Ohio. An amazing account. And another is a novel called Drums on the Mohawk, which is a story of the frontiers people, which was upstate New York at the time. That was the frontier New York State, just one state over. And the accounts there you see, it's mainly survival. That's the goal. Like, we're going to wake up today and let's just survive. Let's make it till tomorrow. And begin to build a life, right? So, you had to grow your own food, harvest your own crops, save enough for the winter. You don't have fridges, for no freezers, right? The local grocery store was probably maybe a day away, a couple days away. So it was this time of the year was a real moment to give thanks to the Lord for all the harvest and the crops that had been reaped, right? So it is a tradition at this time of the year to be grateful for having enough food to survive the winter. So you might think, then of course, Thanksgiving must have been instituted after the Revolution, after the American independence, right? That would make sense. It's something to be really grateful for, right? Wrong. It's not. But I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, well, it must be some significant event in American history, right? Like some achievement, maybe the building of the Empire State Building or the Brooklyn Bridge, or the Transcontinental Railroad, right? Where you could travel east to west in one shot. No. Wrong again. But I know you will not be fooled. You're thinking, I'm sure, it was instituted after the Great War. I mean, just the name itself, the Great War, was this massive event. It finished in November, right? November 11th. This is November, of course. Makes total sense. Wrong. 3 strikes, you're out. No. Thanksgiving Day was instituted as a national holiday during one of the most horrific, terrible, tragic moments in American history. It was instituted by Abraham Lincoln right in the middle of the American Civil War, when family was fighting family, countrymen were fighting countrymen. Abraham Lincoln's family himself, his wife, she had 4 brothers fighting for the South. So his brother-in-laws, the President of the United States' brother-in-laws, were fighting for the South. No one was exempt from this horrifying time. And yet, in that time, He calls on the country to give thanks to God. And the exact words are not only a day of thanksgiving, it's a day of thanksgiving and praise to our beneficent Father. And on top of giving thanks and praise, he invites each citizen to offer penance for the suffering of the Civil War. Interesting, right? Interesting. So what does it tell us? It tells us that we need God. Gratitude is a virtue or an attitude or a disposition of the heart that at its core realizes, I need someone else. I didn't deserve whatever was done or given to me. That was a gift, and I am grateful for that. So on the doorstep of gratitude is the virtue of humility. Realizing that I need others. And first and foremost, I need God. Yes, we can say, I am enough, right? I am good enough. I am worthy enough. I am capable enough, of course. But because God has made us worthy. God's love has made us enough. Our worth, our dignity, our value comes from the fact that God loves us unconditionally and always. And that's the deepest thing we can be grateful for. When I was working in Chicago, there was a Protestant pastor in one of a big evangelical church, and he told a story of how he went to visit one of his parishioners at the hospital. And he walked into the hospital, and he said, the first thing, you walk in, it's kind of dreary, it's dark. The people aren't necessarily happy, And he said as he started to go up the levels, get into the hallway, walk down towards her room, he felt kind of some light, some warmth, some uplifting feeling. And as he got into the room, there was this overwhelming sense of peace. And he walked in and he saw that this lady was dying, but yet she was peaceful. She was smiling. And he actually knelt down next to her bed and said, how do you do it? And she just looked at him, put her hand on his head, and said, I have come to trust the one who died for me. I have come to trust the one who died for me. That is what we are most grateful for today and every day. That God himself has considered us valuable and worthy enough to give his life so that we can live. And so at the end of the day, at the core of our gratitude is the one who died for us, Jesus Christ.